Hey, out there, legal warriors. Did you know that all criminal law is local? And that's so important. If you or someone that you care about is charged with a crime, is worried about being charged with a crime, being investigated, if you're interested in this area of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Lynnwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. Now I'm just going to jump right into it. This is something I pretty much preach upon all the time when someone comes into my office to talk about finding an attorney to help them. And sometimes we're the right choice, sometimes we're not the right choice. But the key thing I want anybody who comes in to know, and I want you to know, that criminal law and what happens in criminal law is local. What I mean by that is each prosecutor's office has a different way of doing things. They have a different culture. Each court has a different way of doing things. They have a different culture. And the most important thing to know when you're trying to figure out what's going to happen to you or your loved one is not necessarily what the charge is, it's who is going to be making decisions for the charge. And how do we figure that out? How do we know? Well, in Washington State, there's basically jurisdictions based upon geography. If a supposed non-felony crime happens within the city limits of a city, then that city is the one who has jurisdiction over the crime. The state's not going to take jurisdiction. They have enough to do. So, for example, my office is in the city of Lynnwood. There's a street called 164th Street. Well, on one side of 164th, at one point it may be Lynnwood, and another side of 164th, it may be a county case. So someone might call us up and say, hey, my case is in Lynnwood. And they may wonder, why am I so obsessed about exactly where in Lynnwood? Well, because a city case is going to be handled one way by the city prosecutors, and a state case is going to be handled another way by the state prosecutors. And who is handling the case and what court is handling the case means there are totally different options, totally different available results, and totally different difficulties of those results. And so I always tell people, please don't trust lawyer Google. And I've got a similar video to this where I say it a different way, don't trust lawyer Google, sorry Google. But the reason why I say that is when you're searching around the internet and you keep looking to see what happens, well, people with websites, even mine, I would guess, I've not looked at it for a while, it says things that are just, sort of generic. And it says things like, here's the worst that can happen. You don't want to make any promises or things on websites. So lawyers don't write things to make people feel better too much on their website, right? They're trying to get the phone to ring. They're also just saying, what are the worst case scenarios so I don't get in trouble for, saying something better is going to happen. And most importantly, it just is throughout the whole state, right? So I'll give you a couple what ifs. So if I get a call about a certain jurisdiction, let's say a city jurisdiction, and someone's got a DUI there, and their loved one's calling because they're in jail. Well, if it's a city case, I know there's not going to be a bail set for that person because the DUI statute requires them to have court the next day. And there's no bail if court is the next day because you shouldn't be able to be bailed out if you're required to see the judge. Now, if it's a county case, there's no charged case yet because the county sheriffs and the state patrol can't officially charge the case. They can only arrest. In that case, quite often, there is going to be a bail. And so just on what side of the street, were you in the city or were you in the state, one person can get out of jail overnight and the other person can't. Exact same case, different result. Additionally, on a city case, there may be different standards for how that city prosecutor wants to do things, okay? Certain cities are more difficult on certain types of crimes. Certain cities are less difficult on certain types of crimes. There's a way that they do things. Similarly, even on felony charges, certain counties take an approach where they rush file everything and make sure that everyone's immediately charged with a felony, and other counties take their time and take 6 months, a year, 2 years to decide if they're going to charge a felony. Now, think about that. The county that has all these felonies backed up because they rush file them right away, they're probably going to have to be more lenient about how they resolve the cases because they have so many cases. Now, if you're in the county that they don't rush file the charge right away and they take their time, well, the good news is they're going to decline a lot more cases and maybe you won't have to go to court. The bad news is the ones they do take their time and choose to charge, they're going to hang on to like a dog biting a bone. They're not going to let go of that bone. And so that may be a harder outcome. And I want you, if you're dealing with a criminal case, reach out to a criminal attorney and find out what's local to the charge where it's happening. A really good criminal attorney will not only know what's likely to happen in the court, they'll know exactly what each prosecutor, what they like to see. One prosecutor might like to see, cognitive behavioral therapy. Another prosecutor might want to see state-certified domestic violence treatment. Some prosecutors aren't interested in the case if the victim's not on board. Some prosecutors get excited when the victim's not on board because it's more of a challenge for them to try to convict the defendant. And so when you hear generics, when you read generics online, it typically just makes you more scared. If you're worried, if you're scared, reach out to an attorney, hopefully someone that's been around a while, so they can give you, an honest opinion from their years of experience about what to expect, what might be something good to do, what might be not good to do, and even the timing of, when things might happen. So while this is a bit of generic advice, it's so important. Criminal law is local to each city, local to each county, local to even each person. Each judge, each prosecutor has a different way of doing things. And guess what? It's predictable. It's predictable. And if you get the right help, you're going to be able to have a better idea what's going to happen. You're going to feel better. You're going to sleep better. You're probably going to get a better result. So if you found this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it again. More people get the help they need. And more importantly, if you have a criminal charge in Washington State, feel free to reach out to my firm. We get on board. We'll listen to what happened. We'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.